Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Lauren from Guthrie and Ganny, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the recording of the live question and answer session that I did on Monday the 8th of January. We're in 2024 now over on the Instagram platform, so I am back for my regular live weekly slot with all of the amazing new fabrics to show you as they come into the shop. We've got so many new things due in over the coming weeks and months as all the new seasonal stock arrives, and I'm ready with all of your questions that you've sent in beforehand asking for your sewing and dressmaking tips. So there's going to be lots of inspiration, lots of fabrics, lots of advice, and I hope that you really enjoy it. If you are watching here on YouTube and you do have a question that you'd like me to answer in a future session, or you've got any sort of comments, or you want to kind of chat about anything as well, then please feel free to leave a comment on this video and then I'll add it to my list for next time as well. So I'll switch over to the live recording now. You'll just see me read out any comments or questions that come in live on Instagram as well, just so you've got a bit of context about the people that are watching and what we're all chatting about and everything. So I will see you very shortly. Hello, good evening everyone. It's Monday the 8th of January and I am here for my first live of 2024, so it's lovely to have you here. Thank you everybody who's joining in to watch live. I've really missed you guys. I think when you sort of do something every week and it kind of feels like a regular thing and then you sort of take a break from it, then you kind of feel out of sync a little bit. So it is really lovely to be back again chatting to you about fabric and sewing here from the G&G shop floor. So I have got lots of lovely things to show you tonight, loads of beautiful fabrics that are out on the table just beside me here. And then I've got your questions ready to answer as well. If you did send in a question this afternoon, it might not have made it onto my list because we sort of organised the list maybe about lunchtime. But if you have sent in a question and I have missed it, feel free to ask again. You can ask questions anytime during the live. I'll do my best to answer them. If it's quite a fabric specific one and it's in like a different place of the shop, I can't always like get to them, but I can always add it to my list for next time, or we can like send you a little picture or whatever. But yeah, please feel free to chip in and ask as I'm chatting as well. So before I do get into showing you, I do have some new fabrics to show you as well, the start of lots to come. We've got so many new fabrics coming in over the next month, and yeah, it feels like there's going to be a lot happening. So yeah, I'm really excited to share all of that with you. So thanks for joining in, and thanks for all of your happy new years and highs and everyone and everything. Let's see, nobody shared where they are tonight. I'm always intrigued as to where people are in the world, so you can let me know where you are joining us live from tonight as well. I do recognise lots of names, so yeah, it's really lovely to see all of you regulars, or if you're new, welcome. Okay, so yeah, I do have a few like kind of updates and sort of announcements just to let you know about before we get stuck into showing you the new things and answering your questions as well. So the first one, which you might have seen if you have been keeping your eye on Instagram over the weekend, is that we've got a really exciting event happening at the end of the month. It's something new that we've not really done before. And basically I had this opportunity to get lots of amazing fabrics from one of our regular suppliers. So we've used them quite a few times really for kits. So the Philippa Pants kit, the Making Backpack, and there is another one and now I can't remember it, of course, but they're all really amazing fabrics anyway, and I've had the chance to get access to their sample room, basically, where they were just sort of clearing out lots of their sample fabrics. So it's unbelievable. These fabrics are so beautiful, and they're all like fixed lengths, and they vary from say maybe like a meter to maybe like kind of 3-4 meters ish. And we're going to be having a sample sale event at the end of the month where you can come and get these beautiful fabrics for a really amazing price. So I feel like it's kind of come at a good time of year, and then yeah, just a good exciting chance to visit the shop and kind of make a day of it, have some nice lunch in Damascena, of course, and yeah, come and see us and say hi. So we've got like a little kind of pre-sale event happening on the Friday night, which is ticketed, but then we'll be open on the Saturday, and unusually for us, we're also going to be open for a bit of time on the Sunday as well. So we're usually totally closed on a Sunday, But just for this special event, we're going to be open from 11 till 3 on the Sunday. So it means that you'll be able to come and visit the shop as well, because the normal shop will just be open too. The sample sale is going to be up in the studio. So yeah, if you usually can't come at the weekend or whatever and you want to come on a Sunday, it's a good chance to visit the shop on a Sunday too. Sorrento jacket was the other one, thank you for the reminder. That was the cord fabric, the really beautiful cord fabric that we used in the Sorrento jacket, which was last year in one of the Sewing Society kits. So yeah, but we've got, where's everyone coming from? Bristol, Buckinghamshire, Canada, Cornwall, Stroud, Redcar, Essex, Coventry, Brighton, Bath, Ireland, Cardiff, Tullibody, Kent, Warwickshire, Norway, lovely. Thank you everyone. It's lovely to have you here. And those of you that are excited about coming as well, I am also very excited. It's been a bit of a mission to get all the fabrics organised, to be honest, but I feel like I've been like really getting to know them, and they are just absolutely amazing. I love them. So we'll be sharing more sneak peeks of those fabrics over the coming weeks, so you can kind of get a taste of the type of stuff it is. It's all woven fabric. And there's a lot of cord, there's some really beautiful moleskin, there's velvets, there's checks, lots of cotton twills. So think things like trousers, jackets, bags, dungarees, little skirts, blazers, all that sort of stuff. Okay, very jealous of those close enough to make it to the sample sale. Too far for me, unfortunately. That's a shame. We will have some details or TBC, but we will have some stuff available online as well, but we're still just kind of working out the logistics of that, so stay tuned. So yeah, that is the sample sale, which is coming up, so it's the last weekend in January for that one. Then the other update that I wanted to just make sure that everybody knows about is that we're currently recruiting for 2 other new positions within the team. So we've got an operations manager job vacancy at the moment, and then we've also got a workshop and events coordinator vacancy at the moment as well. We're just hopefully going to be expanding the team this year. For those of you that haven't heard me mention it before, I'm having another baby. It's due in April, and yeah, I just generally need more help to run the business and expand and do all of the ideas that I've got in my head. I can't do because I am just one person. And yeah. So if you live locally or you know anybody who might be interested in those roles, all of those details are on the website, and the closing date for that is next Monday as well. And then also coming up this week, we do have a little competition coming up we've got 3 copies of this book that we are going to be giving away. It's the new Cashmerette book, which looks really good, and it comes with all of the patterns in it as well, so watch out for that on Instagram this week if you fancy getting your hands on a copy of one of these lovely books. And then also, after much demand, I have a blog post and a YouTube video coming out that's all about matching checks. So if you've ever wanted to match checks or plaid fabrics before, then fear not, I will be there to guide you through the process. So that should be Wednesday, I think. So later in the week anyway, then that new video will be on YouTube and it will be on the blog as well. So yeah, you can check that out if you fancy challenging yourself to some check matching this year. It is extremely satisfying, I can confirm. And then also, we don't have a new Sewing Society kit for January. We always have like a bit of a break for brand new kits in January. So our next new kits for the Sewing Society are going to be on the first Wednesday of February, so I'm excited about that. And so there's always 2 different garments. One of them's pretty simple. They're both the same type of fabrics. There's a bit of a theme there for those of you that want to read into that. And yeah, maybe it might be like a new type of fabric that you want to try. One of them is like a definitely kind of like a classic wardrobe staple that you will want to just wear all the time and make lots of versions of. The other one's like a little bit more involved, but both of them are super comfy. So yeah, they'll be coming out very soon. But we do, on some of the past kits that we had just like a little bit of stock of, we do have a sale on some of them as well. So you can see all of that in the Sewing Society section of the website. And then we do just have our selected fabric sale is just still available as well. Still got lots of really nice things in the sale. Basically unfortunately we don't have room to carry a lot of like winter bulky stock. Because we've got so many new fabrics coming in for the spring summer season, we just need to clear some space. So yeah, take a browse at the selected sales section on the website as well. Okay, somebody's saying, thanks so much, Lauren, for producing the check matching video. I'm excited to see that. Hopefully you find it useful. Can you give us a twirl in your beautiful Josephine dress? Yeah, sorry, I saw that somebody else had commented about my dress as well. This is actually the blouse version. So I mean, I can give you a twirl, but I am wearing it with trousers. So yeah, this is the top version here, but the top is kind of the same. The skirt, I think the skirt waistline kind of starts here, and it's got an invisible zip, so it's a little bit more fitted. But this was a kit that we did, I think that was back in September, with the Fibre Josephine pattern. So it's got this cute little cutout here with some bias around the neck, and then it's got like a little keyhole opening as well. So yeah, you can still get my top tips video for that. I can't remember if we have this exact fabric still left in stock. We had 3 different prints for that kit, and I do think we have some of the other ones. It's really cheering me up that you're talking about spring and summer fabric in the midst of this cold, dark weather. I know it's really cold this week as well, isn't it? Well, it is in Birmingham anyway. But yeah, it's funny when you sort of like, when you're dealing with fabrics, I guess, in this way, and then you know that all the new stuff's coming. Just sort of makes you think ahead a little bit. So yeah, where was I? Okay, so yeah, the sale fabrics and then the new things. So the new things that we do have is the new Liberty collection, which is of course beautiful. I've brought some of the prints over to show you, and someone has requested to see one in particular, so I'll show you that first. This one here is Darwin's Voyage, colourway A. And as you can see, the scale of it's like fairly big. It's quite intricate, like very sort of sketchy. And it's inspired by Darwin's like explorations and his discoveries and his sketches that he made. So yeah, all like really beautiful kind of botanicals, and like there's like a really nice bird in there as well. So yeah, a really lovely detailed one there. And then I'll show you some of the other ones as well. This one is probably a bit different from like your classic sort of Liberty print. This, again, you can see the scale's a little bit bigger. It's got this more sort of solid navy background colour, and then these beautiful kind of stamped flowers on them with this lovely sort of fuchsia colour, nice bright pink colour. These are all Tanalon, by the way. I think this one's really cute. It's almost like scatter paint, or like spray paint a little bit, with sort of stenciled shapes. Really cool, nice colours in that one. Would that be good for curtains, the animal/plant one? It probably is. It's a bit more lighter weight typically than the type of fabric that you would use for curtains, but I don't know, I guess maybe if you like lined it with a heavier fabric, then maybe. I do think Liberty do actually have some more like upholstery weight fabrics, but they don't always put every print on every design on every type of base cloth. Then this one here almost kind of looks like a tapestry in a way. I wonder if it's called something like that. I Cat Anemone. Some really nice colours in that. That's like a lovely aubergine sort of colour in the background there. Then a nice sort of stripy one. I love the colours in that. You could kind of vary the directions of the stripes as well in whatever you're making. And then this one's kind of more sort of classic, like smaller scale kind of ditzy print. But yeah, got all that detail that you know and love in Liberty fabrics, but a nice colour mix there. And then this one's got a bit more of a sort of kind of like a kind of painterly vibe, with really lovely colours as well. And that one, and again, a bit of a larger scale. So they're all in the Just Arrived section. There are some other ones as well. This was just like a little bit of a selection here. So yeah. Is the Darwin Voyage see-through? It probably is a little bit, yeah. I would say for like a top or a blouse, you would probably be fine. You also have to wear a white bra. But yeah, or it might be like you want to wear a little vest top or a sort of camisole underneath it. If you're making a dress, for example, then I think you would need to line it just with a cotton voile, or a plain cotton lawn would be fine. But yeah, it is probably like a little bit sheer. The Tana lawns that do have the lighter background tend to be like that. Okay, somebody's saying that they saw Roman Blind made in Liberty fabric and it was lovely. That was me. Oh yes, I'm definitely buying. Thanks for showing Voyage, no probs. Just finished my first lap zip with the help of your Eve trouser hints and tips video. It was really helpful, thank you. Ah yeah, that was quite a few years ago that we did the Eve as a kit. And yeah, it took me a while to crack getting it all sort of lined up, but I think once you just, it's almost like you have to think ahead in the steps a little bit, or just follow exactly what I say in the video, and then yeah, it can be done, the old lap zip. I generally probably personally prefer an invisible zipper, but yeah, sometimes a lap zip it is. Let me see if I missed any other questions. Have you a window for what looks like a new window display? I don't actually have a, maybe I'll do like a little video or like a little reel or something on Instagram. I don't actually have like a normal designated blog post for this. This is kind of like our interim sale window. I'll give you a bit of a scan round though, so that you can see what's in it. These are all garments that have previously been in the window before. So this one here is the named Patterns Esme cardigan. That's the long cardigan. It's really lovely and cozy and slouchy, and it's in the viscose blended knit fabric. And then it is worn with the Megan Nielsen Durban jumpsuit, which we do have some left of as a kit, but in the lighter colourway. And then this is the Closet Core Mylen sweatshirt. That's in some marled sweatshirting fabrics, really nice, thick, heavy one with some classic ginger jeans. And then finally, this one over here is the Megan Nielsen Hovia jacket that has been quilted. I quilted that fabric. And then it is with the So Liberated Stasia top and some Merchant & Mills Eve trousers that we were just talking about. So yeah, they've all sort of separately been in window displays, but we sort of, yeah, when we've got a sale on, we kind of have like an interim window display, and then usually sort of as it gets into February time, then we have like a more spring themed window display. So yeah, you've answered the question. I have some ribbed knit. What is the tips on washing and cutting the fabric, and what pins used to pin the fabric together? I would just use regular pins, and in terms of washing it, I would just wash it regularly on a normal cycle. I wouldn't tumble dry it, because that can cause it to just sort of lose some of its loftiness, and shrink a little bit as well. Just like a regular wash is fine. The eaves are fairly baggy but not too oversized. I did Lauren's tip of increasing the seam allowance to 2 centimetres. Lovely. Okay, so yeah, definitely loads more new fabrics to come, but a little sort of burst of nice colour and print in the Liberty collections to start off the year. So I'm going to get going with the questions that have been sent in beforehand. Again, if you have sent in a question and I miss it, and I've missed it, apologies. I can add it on for next week, or feel free to ask it again, and then I can always try to answer it, but sometimes I need to sort of look things up or find a fabric in the shop. So if that's the case, I'll just add it to my list for next week. Okay, Jackie's asking, what would you say is the difference between the Hovia and the Tamarack jacket? I would say the Tamarack's generally more fitted, and the sleeves are a bit different. With the Hovia, the sleeve, it's like a drop sleeve, whereas the Tamarack's more like a kind of higher up, like a set-in sleeve. And yeah, generally it's just sort of more fitted, I would say. And the Tamarack that I made, like, it actually sort of overlaps a bit more and has a proper closure, whereas the Hovia just has like a little tie, or you would kind of wear it more open. So yeah, it just depends what sort of characteristics you want it to have. Would you pre-wash fur fabric for a coat? I would probably say it's probably not needed, because it's unlikely that you would be machine washing a coat once you've made it anyway, and it's likely that the fur is synthetic or polyester, in which case it's not like it's going to shrink or anything when you wash it. So I guess the only benefit of washing it would really be if you felt like you wanted to freshen it up and make it smell nice, but Otherwise, I wouldn't say you need to. I have a few tips made from G&G Rib Knit and a tops from G&G Rib Knit, and it handles really well, no issues with washing, etc. Good to know. Be careful lifting heavy fabric while pregnant. I will do, thank you. Okay, so the Joe and Leslie very kindly put all of these fabrics out for me beforehand, and one bolt of fabric's not too heavy. Okay, so I had a comment from YouTube just to share. It must have been because in the last live we were talking about fabrics with a border print on them. So Heather was saying that Closet Core has a blog on a border fabric next dress, which Heather Lou made, and also their Sienna coat version. Yeah, it's like Sienna jacket it's called. Might be great for the big check rose fur fabric with furry back. So yeah, something to consider there. And then another question from YouTube was about the outfits in the display that appear in the background of the video. Can you provide the pattern information for these mates? So yeah, I've just given you the rundown of what's in there just now, but generally when we have like a full sort of new window display, I always do a video and a blog post that links all of the fabrics and patterns and everything that were featured in it. And there's a category on the blog as well that you can look at, and you can look at all of our past window displays too. So yeah, if you're looking for something in particular, you think, oh, I've seen that in one of their windows before, then you can sort of just scroll through all of that on the website too. Okay, the next one was, and some of you might have some tips to share on this as well, the best way to relight your sojo. Now, I think the first thing is to say is that it's really, really normal and fairly common as well for you to just sometimes lose your sojo a bit, where you're just like, I'm not really sure what to make, or you sort of feel a bit demotivated. It can happen for lots of reasons. Obviously life happens and that can get in the way, or it might be that maybe you have a project that just didn't really go to plan, or maybe like you made something and then it, you just didn't really like it as much as you thought you would, or you kind of got stuck with something and then you found it hard to move on from it. So it's really normal to lose your sojo, and I think one of the best ways to sort of get over it is to not force it, because remember, sewing should be fun. So if you're forcing yourself to do it, then that doesn't really sound like fun to me. So I would say that instead of thinking like, oh, I need to sew something again, if you're like not really feeling it, is instead do some other kind of related task related to sewing, which might just sort of spark new ideas and inspiration. So a couple of years ago, I did a blog post and a video that was about just kind of like reorganizing or kind of clearing out all of your stuff, because you accumulate quite a lot of stuff, don't you, when you sew. You're going to have like notions, leftover threads, bits of fabric, scraps, patterns, all of that sort of stuff, unfinished projects that you just are just sit in a pile. We've all got them. And yes, so you can check that out on the blog, hit archive, and on my YouTube channel as well. And really it's about just giving you some tips and ideas to like sort of declutter your space, or kind of just reorganize things a little bit. And it can be a really good way to like just see your stuff in a different light, and give you new ideas and inspiration. So I think that is a really nice way to try and just, get some new creative juices flowing. I'm sure lots of you have got lots of other tips as well. Tidy your sewing room, increase your sojo. I made knickers, just made my daughter some. So yeah, like a nice quick easy project is a good one. I started a small sew along on Instagram. We made the sagebrush, and the companionship really helped me. Yeah, I think that can be quite common as well, is that maybe if you've not got any other friends that sew, or it sort of can kind of feel quite lonely sometimes, is like joining in something with the online sewing community as well. What colourway of the viscose knit is the Esme cardigan? I think it's the mist. It's like the light grey one. When I lose my sojo, I do lots of fabric washing and cutting. I prepare loads of projects, so when I'm back in the mood to sew, I have lots of projects ready to choose from. That sounds fun. I've been tidying my sewing room to try and inspire me. I'm thinking making something that you've never made before, or something fun like a pretty bag or a makeup case. Just buy yourself a gorgeous fabric from G&G for a treat, and get sewing. Well, I couldn't have said that better myself. Thank you very much, Sew Bake Books. If I missed any other ones here, let me just check. Okay, so the next question was, when cutting on the bias, would you cut one piece or fold the fabric? So I guess like, would you cut on the single layer, or would you cut in the fold? So I've tried to draw like a little sketch on the back of my paper here. So you could do either, but essentially if you, so say this is your bit of fabric and this is your selvage here and this is your selvage here, and then normally you would be folding it like this and then you would be cutting your thing out in the fold, so that's on the straight grain. But when you're cutting out on the bias, what you have to do is create a fold that is at 45 degrees to the selvage. So then if I fold my bit of paper like this, take that off, my bit of fabric, which is exemplified in the paper, then so you've got your selvage here, this section is effectively like the cut edge of the fabric, and then your other selvage is over here. So this creates the fold which is on the bias, and then you can place your pattern piece on that fold. So this is my like little skirt outline that I've got here. It's probably easier to do that, I would say, than to try and cut it out single layer on the bias. So yeah, that's what you need to do. Okay, the next question was, I got my first overlocker. Can you give me some hints and tips that I can use? So I know that they come quite highly recommended. There's a couple of online courses for overlockers that are good. Telling the Buttons has one. The other one that a lot of people recommend is the Stitch Sisters one as well. So doing something like that can be really good because you can sort of learn at your own pace and it's online, and you know they're going to cover all of the basics. But one thing I would say is that I think a lot of people can feel quite scared when they first get an overlocker because, you know, there's lots of threads and there's lots of dials and everything. But really you just have to try and like get stuck in to overcome your fear, and learning how to thread it from scratch early on in your journey will definitely boost your confidence as well, because it's inevitable that you're going to need to rethread it at some point. And if that really terrifies you, then I would suggest it's something to really try and work on and overcome quite quickly. Otherwise you might find you end up not getting the best use out of the machine. So, okay, Susie saying, I have a Janome 6234XL snap. I think it's the ones you have in the studio. Yes, it is. Do you sell the replacement needles? I'm struggling to know that I'm getting the right ones. We do sell overlocker needles, yes. I think they're just called overlocker needles, and it's the Prim brand of needles that we sell. But you can... I'm pretty sure that you can get like Janome branded ones as well. We just don't sell them. We just have the Prim ones. Sewing with a light drapey boiled wool, do I have to cut with the grain? I would say generally yes. Without knowing too much context, I'm going to generally say yes to that. Okay, so the next question was tips on adapting the Dawnson Kit for maternity wear. So the Dawnson is a Helen's Closet pattern. It's for like quite a fitted t-shirt that you can have different necklines and you can have different sleeve lengths as well. And it was a bamboo French terry that we included in that kit. I've got a feeling that was that last year? Is that even the year before? I totally lose track of all these Sewing Society kits. So it does have quite a lot of negative ease, the Dawnson, from memory. I have actually been still wearing my Dawnson top that I made as a sample for the kit, and I am now 25 weeks pregnant, and it just about fits. Generally you need to like make things longer, because that, you know, typically the shape, as your body changes, it just sort of lifts things up at the front. So you can just kind of make it like loose, you know, you can kind of make it more or less sort of the same like at the shoulders and the bust, but then just merge it and make it a little bit more A-line, give it positive ease, like make it looser. The other thing that I did years ago, this was when I was first pregnant, this was like 8 years ago, and I adapted the Tilly and the Buttons Agnes t-shirt. I did do a blog on it at the time, but I'm trying to think if it's even like still in the depths of the website now. I'll check that. you could try searching like Agnes Maternity and see if it comes up. And basically I made it like really quite long, and then I ended up doing that thing where you like, I made like a channel at the side seams with little ties in it, and then you could kind of pull on the ties and like ruche it up a little bit, so that it just means there's like more fabric basically around that area. So that's another idea to have a look at as well. Okay, so the next question was advice on buying a new sewing machine. So last year when I was the contributor to the Channel 5 Shop Smart Save Money sewing machine feature that they did, where they compared like a basic sewing machine model and then a more premium model. I did a blog post that sort of just talked about the machines that were on there, but it also just gives my general tips for buying a new machine, because there's quite a lot, you know, there's like a few different sort of things that you can consider. So yeah, I would suggest checking out that blog on the website as well. So it's the Shop Smart Save Money sewing machine feature one, and it just gives like a nice bullet pointed list of things that you might want to look out for, and just sort of maybe help you to think about what you're looking for in a machine so that you can narrow down your focus. Okay, thanks Belle for the link. Yeah, we do have the Agnes top tutorial, maternity Agnes top tutorial. I already bought some overlocker thread to sew using the rib knit fabric. I am thinking of making Mila jumper by Tammy handmade a cardigan. That sounds nice. Okay, so the next question was, can you recommend a fabric for the Nina Lee Portobello trousers? So I've got a couple of fabrics to suggest for that. The first one is our bamboo blended fabric, which I think is just such a perfect fabric for trousers. It comes in lots of really nice colourways. It's bamboo and recycled polyester, and it doesn't crease, which is really good, but it's just a nice thickness, but it's not too stiff. It drapes and kind of moves around, and it's just like a really lovely fabric to make trousers with. So that is definitely an option. It's totally machine washable as well, because it's a blended bamboo. And then the other one that I picked out was this one here. I actually love this one, but I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the subtle colours in it. It's the charcoal multi-fleck blended fabric, and it is 56 wool, 42 cotton and 2% polyester. It's 1960 a metre. So it's kind of like a very, very, very fine, almost like a houndstooth, I want to say. But it's quite textured, and when you look close, it's got loads of little colourful flecks in it. It's really nice, and I think that would be lovely for a pair of trousers as well. I'll hold some out for you so that you can see it. Yeah, it's not too sort of thick or stiff, so it's really nice. Can anyone recommend any trouser patterns for wearing at weekends or out instead of jeans? So again, I think it would have been a couple of years ago I think I did it. But I did a blog post on trousers that you might want to make in the autumn and winter. So it just summarises different types of fabrics that you might want to use, and also suggests loads of different types of patterns as well. And all of them are not jeans. So that's probably a good one to check out there. It's like trouser patterns for the autumn winter. It's called something like that. Sorry, I can't remember the title. It's a couple of years ago I did it, but still all relevant. I just bought some of the G&G bamboo blended twill, and it's lovely. Oh, that sounds fun. What are you making? Not sure if it's just my device, but your voice speed seems to be variable tonight. I'm sorry about that. If anybody else is having issues, let me know, but apologies if that is a bit weird for you. The Mitchells is a really nice trouser, and it's got a few different versions as well. Okay, the next question was, would the meat milk tencel twill in the paler colours need lining for a dress? So I have got this one is the off-white one here, and I'll hold a section of it out on the single layer like this, so that you can sort of see. I think it would maybe depend on what style you were making. Like, you wouldn't be able to wear a black bra, for example. I think you would see that, but maybe you want to line the bodice, but if it's quite a, maybe like a gathered skirt or something, you might feel like you don't need to line it. Whereas if it's more a sort of straighter style, where the fabric's just generally a bit flatter, then maybe you probably would want to line it. Sounds like a bit of a mixed response on the old voice. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what to suggest. Maybe like refresh the app or something, or see if it needs a little update. Okay, so the next question was, how can you check if there is any wool in a fabric that is heavy coating? So this might be maybe like you got a bit of wool fabric, I don't know, maybe you got it cheap somewhere, or you sort of inherited it from someone and you're thinking like, does this actually have wool in it? Without like sending it to a testing centre, it's going to be hard for you to work out like the percentage of wool, but you can probably generally work out if it's got wool in it. You can do a burn test. So if you just Google burn test wool fabric, then stuff will come up for how you can work it out. But generally what it says is that if it's got wool in it, that the wool will burn and not melt. And it will generally sort of shrink from the flame, and it will really smell of burning hair. And the residue will be like a little black, hollow, irregular bead that can be crushed into a gritty powder. I basically got that from just Googling wool burn tests. So yeah, have a look at that. Obviously be careful when you're using flames. Okay, the next question was pattern suggestions for the Ramie knot trousers. Sorry, I don't actually have any Ramie fabric to show you. I forgot to bring that one over. It's a bit like linen really, but it's kind of a bit more sort of textured and a little bit more structured than some of our other more linen like base cloths. It is good for trousers, but you can also use it for the Helen's Closet moss. We used it for a kit for the Helen's Closet moss jacket in the summer, which looked really nice. So you can see what it looks like made up like that. If you go to the Sewing Society section of the website and look for the moss kit, then you'll see a couple of versions of that in Ramie. And then the Friday Pattern Company is like another sort of classic kind of lightweight jacket that I think it would be nice for as well. Okay, so let's see. Hi Lauren, I made a cord dress and put in anorak poppers which went on fine and looked good, but once completed they don't snap shut. What did I do wrong? You probably didn't squeeze, you probably just didn't lock the two sides of it together. So it'll mean that like the middle of it'll be like in the female part of it. Because how can I describe this? When you like put this sort of the female part of the popper with the kind of backing bit, if there's not enough force or like pressure to squeeze them together, then the kind of concave area of that part doesn't get kind of squished down enough, so then the popper can't get into it. So you probably just need to, like, if you're using the Prim Vario pliers, for example, you just need to put the tools back on the machine and like give it more of a squeeze, or if you're putting them on with a hammer, like just bang it a bit harder. I adore my moss jacket. The Ramie is amazing for that. Good to know. It is a really nice combination. Okay, the next one was, what is the lilac check fabric you show in your story when you do the quick shop overview? I'm really sorry I couldn't actually work out what that was, but I do have some lilac checks to show you all the same. This is a Robert Kaufman cotton flannel, which has got lovely sort of purple lilac-y colours in it. This one is the Robert Kaufman Mammoth Junior Lilac Organic Cotton Flannel. So it's 100% cotton. It's more like a medium weight kind of cotton, very cosy. And then we do have in the sale some of the Atelier Brunette gingham. This is the Divine Parma cotton double gauze. So on one side it's like a bigger check, and on the other side it is a smaller check. So that's another lilac check. And then we do have this one here, which, yes, this one is also on the sale as well. This is the Grape Check Cotton Blended Knit Fabric. So it's 60 cotton, 25 polyester at 5% elastane. It's more like a kind of, like a double knit or a sort of Ponte Roma type weight. Would be really good for like a nice cardigan, or kind of, you can make like a lightweight jumper with it as well. It feels very snuggly and soft. Isn't the lilac check behind you near the window? There's no lilac check there, that's actually this check here, this on the roll, where am I pointing to? That's kind of like an oatmeal-y sort of caramel kind of colour. I love that purple and blue checked trouser. They could be cool at some pyjamas, yeah. I've had issues with anorak poppers not working due to hammering too hard, and getting the balance between it is right. That's why I find the pliers are quite good, or to take it to the next level, the Prim Creative tool, you get a bit more control there. Do you know which colour that bamboo blended trouser fabric one was? The one you just held up? Yes, it is the muted moss for that one. Is the material in the Esme jacket in the window too floppy for a Marlowe sweater? No, I've seen lots of versions of the Marlowe in that one. It obviously is like a little bit more floppy, and it's going to be like a slouchy effect, so which looks really nice. You just need to be aware that that's the kind of characteristic it's going to have. Okay, the next one was, what should I line the broidery anglaise shorts with? I would say more of like a medium weight cotton, just a plain poplin would be good for that. The next one was, I'm making a soft shell jacket and I'm looking for a cozy lining for the hood, preferably a neutral or a blue. So for that one, I've got the lovely cotton double fleece. This is a nice neutral colour. It's the oatmeal cotton double fleece, and it's in the sale. It's got 25% off, and we do have a blue colourway of this one as well. It's really lovely and cosy and soft. It feels very snuggly. And then the next one was any fabric and pattern recommendations for soft stretchy leggings. So I've made a couple of legging patterns before. The Megan Nielsen Virginia leggings, and then also the Helen's Closet Avery leggings, which we did as a kit, that one. So for the Virginia leggings that I made, I used this fabric here. It comes in lots of different colourways. This particular one is the petrol loop back jersey fabric, and it's a modal fabric, so it's very, very soft. It's like a little bit drapey almost. It's got a really nice weight to it. Now, the only thing that you need to bear in mind with this one, which I didn't do on my first version, but I did on my subsequent versions, I've made 3 in total of the Virginia leggings in this one, is it's actually more stretchy parallel to like the selvage than it is at 90 degrees to it. So you would want to make sure that you cut out your pattern pieces so that the greatest amount of stretch is going horizontally, because obviously leggings are quite fitted. And then for the Helen's Closet Avery, then we've got the micro modal fabric, which is a fabric that we get made especially for us here in the UK, and it's a low pill fabric. It's definitely a bit lighter weight than that loop back jersey one, but it's really good for leggings. We've got it in a black and a navy, and I wear my leggings quite a lot, my Avery leggings quite a lot. It's made out of that one. So yeah, a couple of options there for that one. Can you show us the oatmeal check behind you, please? I will lug it over. We do have this in a pink colourway as well. We did have some of it in navy. I'm not sure if any of that's left. It's quite a large scale one. I used the pink version to make the Fibre Mood Quilla top in the summer, which is really nice. But yeah, it's a nice, lovely large scale check one. What else have I missed here? Do you have a rib to match the oatmeal knit, please? We probably do have like a sort of neutral one. They're kind of at the other side of the shop, so I can't put them together at the moment. But if you can always email us as well, and then one of the team can take a photo of a couple of options together and send it to you. I've just made the Style Arc leggings a super quick make as only one pattern piece. Yeah, leggings are pretty quick. Any ideas for high neck cardigan with pockets similar to Esme? Not off the top of my head. I'd have to have a little Google around for that. I always find that, see, if you've got something like really specific in mind that you want in a pattern, if you look on the fold line database and like scour that, you can usually find something somewhere if you've got like quite specific image in your head. So you could try that as well. Okay, the next one was, will you be getting any swimwear fabrics this year? I don't have any on order at the moment. It's something I'll watch out for. My general advice would be that if you want to make swimwear and you actually want to swim in it in chlorinated water is that you check that it has proper chlorine resistance, because sometimes you can get like sportswear fabric or swimwear fabric, but it doesn't actually have the proper chlorine resistance in it, in which case it's eventually just going to like really discolor and disintegrate. So I always just say generally be aware of that if you want to make swimwear and you want to actually swim in chlorinated water in it. Okay, the next one was, would the Jara, the Megan Nielsen Jara, work with the cozy colours in sweatshirting fabric? Absolutely, it would be perfect. I've got some of the cozy colours over here. This is one of our like long-standing, amazingly classic sweatshirt, fleece back sweatshirting fabric. It washes really well, it's so comfy, it's good for loads of different things, and yet would be perfect for the Jara. You could either, so depending on what colorway it is, sometimes we have a cuffing or ribbing that sort of tones or matches. It doesn't come with its own set of matching ribbing, unfortunately, but you can also just use the same fabric for the neckband and the cuffs and the hemband as well. Okay, so the next one was how to handle woolen fabric. Do you need to stabilise it on the wrong side with violins? Really, it depends on the type of woolen fabric that you've got, because woolen fabric can come in like many forms, many thicknesses. I guess a bit like cotton, really. Like there's so many different types of cotton fabric that you can get, and that's the same for wool fabrics as well. I would like generally say, you know, on most woolen garments that you make, you're going to be like interfacing some part of it. You know, if it's trousers, the waistband, if it's like a coat, you know, the lapels, or, you know, certain parts of it. So I guess it just depends on what you're making and the type of wool it is as to like exactly where you would stabilize it. But generally you are probably going to be stabilizing it somewhere, yeah. Okay, the next one was suggestions for a lightweight simple top. The Helen's Closet Ashton is a nice classic one. We've done that as a kit before as well, so there's top tips video available for that. And another one which has been really popular since it came out, which is just like a nice sort of little simple one, is the Friday Pattern Company Donny top as well. It's got like a cute little collar, but it's just the sort of pop on and off over your head style top. It's really nice. But I do have a blog post and a video as well that is all about all of the different tops that I have made, and it's got loads of different patterns in it, and you can sort of see what different things look like made up in different fabrics too. So that's a YouTube video and a blog post on top patterns, so you can have a look at that as well for more inspiration. And then the next one was, what is the best toile fabric to mimic your dead stock wool suiting? So the dead stock wool suiting that we've got, sorry I couldn't actually find any to show you, but the wool suiting, it does feel quite lightweight, it is pretty floppy. If you want something that's like cheaper to sort of mimic that, I was trying to think of something that you could get that would be cheaper. Maybe some kind of like polyester crepe might be cheaper. If you can get your hands on some of that somewhere. We don't really sell that type of fabric. Or I guess it kind of depends on what you're hoping to get out of making the toile. If you're wanting to see how it's going to hang or drape, then obviously you do want to try and get something that really does mimic it. But you probably can achieve working out whether the fit is okay just with calico, so you could just try that as well if the main focus and intention of the toile is fit as opposed to aesthetic and drape. Okay, the next one was long shirt dress inspiration. Again, I had a little look on the assembly line for this one, not the assembly line, that's one of the recommendations, the fold line, and they actually have got a blog post that is about long shirt dresses, but a few that I thought looked nice was the assembly line shirt dress. That's pretty long. The named Rita is nice as well, and then the Lennox dress, which is a cashmerette one, you would have to lengthen that because it looks like it maybe just sort of comes to the knee. And then the Sorrel dress by Jennifer Lauren Handmade, we sell the PDF pattern for that on the website. So a few suggestions there. Then the next one is there much difference between the Tilly and the Buttons Freya and the True Bias Nico? I would say as like aesthetically, in terms of design, like on the face of it, there's not a huge amount of difference. But what I would have a look into is the finished garment measurements. I've only ever made the True Bias Nico, and it does have quite a lot of negative ease, which makes it very fitted. I'm not sure if the Tilly and the Buttons Freya has quite as much negative ease. So that's probably one way to have a look and differentiate between the two, is look at the finished garment measurement charts in relation to the body measurement ones, and you'll see the difference between the two and see how much negative ease it's got. Okay, the next one was, I've got a few left that were sent in before, and then I'm going to catch up with all of the ones that you're leaving me just now. The next one was, would the fur lined cord / bubble cord work for the Friday Pattern Company Pogo Nip pullover? A different fabric for the placket maybe. I think you could use a different fabric for the placket if you wanted like a bit of contrast, but you'd be surprised. I think you probably could actually get away with this, although the fur backing on it does make it kind of fairly lofty. Actually, when you kind of squish it together, it does go quite flat, and I think that, you know, once you've folded it over and sort of stitched it, I actually think that it would be okay. This fabric literally has no give at all, so you would definitely want to make sure that you were making it with enough ease that you could still like easily move around in it with other layers underneath, and that you could easily get it on and off over your head, because it's not going to give at all. So yeah, I actually really love that pattern. I would love to make one if I had endless amount of time, but I've not had a closer look at it yet. I don't really know what the finish, what the ease is designed to come out like how much bigger than your actual body is designed to come out like. But that would be one thing I'd have a look at if you're making it in something like this, because it doesn't give at all. Okay, the next one was, I've just got a couple left. I've answered that one already. Do you know if the Nerida Hansen magenta washed Carina linen viscose would work for the Zadie jumpsuit? So that is this fabric here. It's got a lovely, really bright, bold print on it. I would say it probably is maybe like a little bit lightweight. I suspect when you wash it, it's going to contract, because the weave looks a bit loose to me, and I suspect when you wash it, it'll contract a little bit. But I think it might feel maybe like a little bit sheer. One way that you could get around it, like if you had your heart set on it and you wanted a Zadie jumpsuit out of this, is that you could flatline it with just some cotton voile. So you would cut out your main fabric, you would cut out your cotton voile, and then before you started any construction, you would baste those two layers together of the individual pattern pieces. You'd baste them together within the seam allowance, so it effectively became one layer of fabric, and then you would just continue construction, and it would almost then be like it was already lined anyway. So it's not like you're making a separate lining and a separate outer and putting them together. As you construct it anyway, the lining is in place. I would call that flat lining, because you're lining it when the fabric is flat, as opposed to once it's already constructed. So you could maybe do that, and it would obviously give it a bit more body, and it would make it less see-through. Okay, the next one is, I'm looking for your suggestions on this one, so I'm going to ask it and then leave you to let me know what you think, and then I'm going to catch up on all your other questions. So I'm turning 50 in March. Congratulations. And I'm planning an 80s themed birthday party. Can anyone think of any 80s style party dress patterns? I'm thinking rah-rah skirts, shoulder pads and neon. I mean, it sounds absolutely amazing. If anybody has made any 80s themed things with certain patterns, let me know and I will share. But I'm now going to go back and catch up on all these comments and questions that I have missed before. Where did I get up to the last time? Okie doke. The Jara is easy to make. I made one the other day using my overlocker. It is really easy to make. Very easy. I made one in an hour and a half at the weekend. Any ideas for a midi A-line skirt pattern which could be made in a dark denim, preferably not too full skirted? The Sovre Ava skirt is quite a classic sort of A-line pattern. It has a few lengths on it. What types of woven fabrics are best for elasticated waist PJ bottoms? I would say something quite lightweight, like a cotton lawn's quite good, or a cotton double gauze would be quite nice as well. For autumn, winter, a brushed cotton or a flannel is amazing, definitely. Agreed, Freya doesn't have as much negative ease. That's what I suspected. Thank you for confirming, Helen. Cotton lawn is lovely, soft and light. Cotton goods all-rounder, or viscose is special. I'm planning a fur-backed cord pogo nip. I mean, that just sounds amazing. Please share it once you've made it. What is your recent make? I actually haven't made, what have I made? I've not made anything for myself for ages because it's just been busy with Christmas and making Sewing Society samples, which I usually can't share with you at the time. I did make some Waves and Wild joggy bottom trousers for my little boy just before Christmas because he seemed to have outgrown all his clothes. I made a pogo knit from your pre-quilted fabric last week. It came out great. That sounds really nice. Make sure you share a picture. Pogo knit, is that a sweatshirt? Yeah, so it's the new Friday Pattern Company, and it's like a kind of pullover sort of layer, I guess, that's got a placket that comes to here with studs on it, or I guess you could have buttons as well. And then, yeah, we had a look up at what pogo knit actually is. Somebody might be able to correct me here, but I think it's something to do with like a cold fog in a specific area of America. It's called a pogo nip. So then I guess that's the motivation for the name, is that you might want to wear this cozy layer when there is a cold fog. I made the fur-backed cord and the Ilford for my husband. It's great. Used large poppers instead of buttons. Knickerbocker culottes and high neck frilly blouses. Very 80s. That sounds amazing. You could try looking at some of the Fibermid patterns. I bought the moss jacket kit in the white knit, and I was wondering if you had any similar fabric in a different colour. Will you be getting in any more at some time? We do have a little bit of something that's similar. See if you send me a direct message, I'll send you a link to it afterwards because I can't remember the exact name of it now. On the outside it looks the same, but it's actually kind of like a double layered fabric, and on the back it's almost got like a single knit jersey on the back, but the effect of it looks very similar. Linen PJ bottoms are wonderful. It sounds very luxurious. Leg warmers and lacy gloves like Madonna wore in the 80s. 80s fancy dress. I went as Madonna with knee-length leggings. I made lace gloves and tied lace in hair, vest top and lots of necklaces. Not too much sewing though. These all sound amazing. I feel like I want an 80s party now. Don't forget shoulder pads or sharp suits. Oh, when's your birthday? Mine's the 29th, but going to be 60. Could you use the meat milk quilted for pogo nip? Do you still have it? Yeah, we do still have the meat milk quilted fabric. Yeah, I think you could. Yeah. Yes, icy fog that forms in valleys of the western states of USA. Thanks, Lorianne, for clarifying that definition for me. Okay, well, thank you so much for all of your chat, everyone. If you've got any last minute comments or questions, let me know. But otherwise, I will love you and leave you for another week. And yeah, I will see you again next Monday. Now we're just back into the swing of things again. I hope you have a wonderful week and that you get a chance to do some sewing, whether that's working through your stash or whether you're looking to plan some new projects. So yeah. That as always, the replay will be on YouTube as well, so if you want us to watch back on there as well, then you can do that too. But thanks for joining me, everyone. It's lovely to see you. I'm very happy to be back and chatting with you again. So yeah, thank you for all your questions and all your chat on this Monday evening, and I will see you very soon. Bye.